Welcome in today's video. In today's video, I'm gonna share with you my 10 most unpopular opinion about the gym. And yeah, I got my dogs. If you hear some noise, it's my dog. We decide that every time I press play, she decide that is the perfect time to eat biscuits. Yeah, you. Yeah, you. And the other one just wants to be close to me. So there's no way I can do that video without them because they're next to me all the time. So I'm gonna do my top 10 most unpopular opinion about the gym. Don't start. Don't start. We're gonna start with number one. Heavy lifting is not necessary for muscle building. I'm always prone to say that you need to lift heavy, you need to push yourself and go all in and go to your limit and really feel your muscle working. But scientifically, it's not true. That's what I like to say because I like to see my client pushing themselves and going to the limit and learning their body, learning what the limit is. But actually, technically, you don't need to lift that heavy. If you see bodybuilder, how many times do you see lift them like really lightweight? Because they know the body, they know that you can make lightweight feel really heavy if you have the right tension, if you go slow, if you have 4 seconds down, pause, 4 seconds up, and all those kind of small tricks. You can make lightweight feel heavy and have a lot of progress with lightweight. Technically, you don't need to have really heavy weight to build a lot of muscle. It's about the technique, about the tempo, and having that mind muscle connection. So of course you can lift heavy weight, but it won't be necessary for having the biggest muscle or have the best result ever. Number two, cardio doesn't ruin gains. Again, I'm someone who likes to say to my client, try to stay away from cardio, don't do too much cardio, get off the treadmill, get off the bike, don't run too much. Because the reason why I said that to my client is because usually they use cardio as the way to lose weight. This is the way to lose weight. And that's something I am trying to avoid. That's something I'm trying to change and try to get them more lifting weight, trying to get them more uh, building muscle and going on a gym floor and all of that. Your heart is also a muscle. So you're going to need to do some cardio to get your heart healthy. And the reason why we say that cardio run gains is because we don't replenish after. In 1 hour of cardio, you're gonna burn way more calories than in 1 hour of weightlifting. And if you don't replenish those calories after, the chances are, yeah, of course, you're gonna lose weight and you're gonna lose muscle. So it's not like the cardio that is killing your gains, is the fact that you don't eat enough after your cardio session. Number three, six packs doesn't mean that you have the best fitness ever. Lola, honestly, that video is chaotic. With them too, they just went for a walk as well, so they should be quite quiet, but that one is never quiet. Six pack is not the best sign of fitness. So when we see people with a six pack on, we say like, oh my god, they must be like so healthy, so fit, so in shape. No, if you ask people who have a six pack how they are feeling, they have no libido, they are tired, they are feeling weak, they don't have the best workout ever, they don't feel the best, they're hungry all the time, they cannot lift as much weight as they wanted to, their recovery isn't great, they barely can sleep. No, there's not a big sign of being healthy or having the best fitness. Some people with really rare genetic can have a six pack and be really healthy, but most people, for men, will be healthy between 10 to 13% body fat, and women's will be usually between 20 and 23% body fat will be at the healthiest. All under that, they will not feel good. They won't be at the healthiest version. A bit of body fat will always be better than a six pack, unless you are a genetic freak. Number four, you don't need to bulk and cut to build muscle. You're gonna see a lot of people bulking and cutting on social media. Usually they are bodybuilders. If you are a lambda person, you don't need to do bulk and cut. You just need to eat enough protein, eat enough calories like at your maintenance or maybe a little bit above that. You don't need to go all in and bulk for 6 months and cut for 6 months after, or like do like 2 months in or 1 year or whatever. You don't need to do a dirty bulk or just bulk like crazy. You just need to train 3 to 5 days a week, eat enough protein, eat enough calories, and rest and recover. Forget the bulk and cut unless you are a bodybuilder and you have on season and off seasons. Number 5, body weight exercise are underrated. Again, I also to my clients, lift weight, go on the gym floor, lift heavy, push yourself, but you don't need to lift heavy weight, or you don't have to lift proper dumbbells and barbells to build muscle. You can just stay at home or go in a park or wherever and do body weight exercises. You don't need that much equipment. It's all about proper technique, proper control, and proper exercises. Or do you think that people in prisons gain that much gain when you see that the transformation? They train with no equipment, just with their body weight and imagination, and finding exercise that can work with what they have around them. Well, it's the same with you. You don't need that much equipment. Look at people who do calisthenics. They do all of that with their body weight, and they get an incredible physique with just body weight exercises. So again, it's just about control, the right exercises, and the right technique. Number 6, that one I think is probably my favorite one. Old school bro science is often misleading. What do I mean with old school bro science? I mean that if you eat carbs in the evening, you're gonna gain fat. If you don't eat every 2 or 3 hours, you won't make gains. If you are not sore the next day after you training, you are not training hard enough. All those kind of bro science kind of thing that we heard a lot. Usually, bro science, the way they are saying the message is not right, but the undertone is correct. When we say if you eat carbs before bed, you're gonna gain fat, it's not true. But the fact is, if you eat too much calories, you're gonna gain fat. It's about how much calories you are having every day that are gonna make you gain fat or not. And usually it's true that we have a tendency of overeat at night because we are tired, with a long day. We are usually in front of the TV, so we have usually a tendency to overeat a little bit in the evening. So yeah, eating carbs can make you fat at night, but it's not the carbs, it's the calories. And if you don't eat every 2 or 3 hours, you're not gonna like build muscle. Again, is the fact that if you don't eat enough calories during the day, you won't be able to gain as much muscle as you could, because usually we may have a tendency of undereat, and eating every 2 or 3 hours will make us eat more. So it's not the fact that you need to eat every 2 or 3 hours, it's the fact that you need to eat enough protein and calories to burn muscle. And my favorite one, if you're not sore the next day, you're not training hard enough. Again, this is not true. You can have a great workout and not be sore the next day. Usually soreness is gonna come if you overdo it, or if you're really new at the gym, or if you do an exercise that you've never done before. When I do exercise I'm not used to, the chances are I'm gonna be sore the next day. But it's not because I overdone it, it's because I'm changing something in my body. I'm changing an exercise, I'm doing something new. I told you about the biscuits, by the way. She's absolutely always eating when I'm recording. But yeah, so it's not about like the intensity. I work hard, I train really hard, but most of the time I'm not sore because I know when to stop to not be sore the next day. Because if I overdo it, the chances are I won't have a good recovery. I won't be able to push myself as well as I could, and I'm gonna be too sore to train. Number 7, fitness influencer doesn't represent reality. How many times do we look at social media and we want that body, we want the same physique, we want their life, we want everything, but usually they are taking like a lot of pictures at one time of a year when they're really shredded, and then the rest of the year they don't have that body that you can see on a picture, but they post those pictures during the year even if they don't look like that anymore. They also use Photoshop, they use good lighting, pump, and all of that. They trick us to think that that's the body that they have all the time walking around, and it's not true. And we see that, and we want the same physique. And again, we have the sentence Instagram versus reality. What you see on social media is not true. Of course, they have great physique. Of course, they look good. And if even for that split second, we want to look like them. But the fact is, they also probably are using steroids and stuff that we shouldn't use if you want to stay natural. So what you see in social media and reality is totally different. And most of the time, they also have a really good genetics that we don't have, and we probably don't have the chance to have. Number 8, most gyms are marketing. Everything you see on social media, or if you do that in 30 days, you're gonna lose fat, or to have that physique, do that for 30 days, or take that pill and you're gonna lose fat, or take that pill, you're gonna build muscle, or use that equipment and you're gonna be like the strongest you ever been, or you want to build muscle, buy that equipment, or use that program, or whatever. All of that are just marketing. People want your money, and as fact business want to make money, so they're gonna use all the tools they have to trick us to make money. Most of the things that we see are not doesn't work or don't work as well as they say. A really good trick that marketing or business that you are using for the before and after picture is that they go to bodybuilding shows and they ask to the competitors to pose for them. And when they're the most shredded, they use that as after picture. And then they do the post show rebound and they use that as before picture. So they switch them around and trick us to think that the before and after is achievable, but actually it's been done in a few days, and usually the after picture is actually the before picture. So marketing are really smart to trick us and to make us things that think are attainable when they actually aren't. And again, Photoshop and all this marketing stuff. Again, there is no secret about reaching your goal. Of course, the carries in, carries out work really well, but there's also always some. It's more difficult than carries in versus carries out because everyone is different. It depends on your body type, where you're coming from. At the client, for example, she was under eating quite massively, and to make her lose weight, we had to increase the calories. So we had to make her eat more to lose weight. So when I said that carries in versus carries out doesn't always, it's not always that correct and that easy, but most of the time, for 90% of the case, if you want to reach your goal, train hard 3 to 5 days a week, rest enough, and eat enough protein, and you will reach your goal. Don't need to follow any like crazy program. Don't need to have any kind of weird gym equipment or whatever. Don't need to take weird pills. Just eat properly, train properly, and rest properly. All right, we are almost there. We are number 9. Having a gym body is not always beneficial. I know that some people cannot train if they don't have that extra motivation of someone coming with them, but it's not always that beneficial. Usually, the problem with having a gym body is that you won't train hard enough, you won't push yourself, you rest time gonna be way too long, you won't do as many exercises as will do by yourself. And if your body is lifting less than you, usually you will try to match what is lifting because you won't be asked to put more weight. So your training won't be really, really efficient. So of course, if you're someone who won't come to the gym unless you're with someone, it's better to go to the gym with someone. But technically, it won't be as good as training by yourself because you can be locked in, focusing on what you're doing, focusing on yourself, the way you are feeling, what you need, the weight that you can lift, and pushing yourself. And if you're with like someone else, usually you kind of be distracted, play around, and not really focusing on the feeling that you are feeling in your muscles. So your training won't be as good. That's why I'm usually against of gym body unless you're someone who won't come to the gym unless you have someone with you. Last one, not everyone needs to deadlift. Again, for me, deadlift is number 1 of exercises, is the king of exercise, is the best one you can do. It's working all of your muscle, is firing your CNS up, is an amazing exercise that you could do, is the number 1. But during my years of personal training, I noticed that some people just are not made to deadlift because they have injury, bad back, older, they're just not there yet. they may be really not interested in doing that. It's not their goal to be really strong or wherever. Some people don't need to deadlift to reach the goal. Of course, if they can, I will always push them to deadlift, especially lifting heavy, especially if they're women, because it boosts that confidence, makes you feel better, and pushes you to reach new goals. And because your CNS is fired up, you feel that confidence and that boost and that strength. So for me, deadlift is not only good physically, it's also good mentally. But for some people, it's just not for them. One, they're already not really interested in the gym, so they don't really want to do those exercises. Two, they may be like a bit older, so their body is not that strong and not made anymore for deadlift. So you need to do something else with them. So not everyone is made to deadlift. If you can do it, great, but it's not for everyone. And a bonus one, gym selfies are fine. I know gym selfies can be annoying when trying to train and you see like someone just posing like with the top off and just flexing around in the mirror. It can be annoying, even if sometimes I must admit I'm one of them. But that's not the point. The point is gym selfies are good for boosting your motivation, are good to see progress, and are just good also not it's not only a show off thing, it's good for yourself because when you see your picture and you see that 2 months ago you were not as strong and you didn't have that much muscle, and now you can see how strong you look and how much muscle you put on, how much better you look, it's really good for that mental boost and for that motivation boost. So it's not only to show off on social media, it's also good for us to keep us pushing harder and seeing that what we are doing and all the work and effort in that we are putting in the gym is for something. So gym selfies are fine to a certain extent. Don't be a douche in the gym as well. Like go in a corner that nobody sees you or whatever. Don't do that when it's really packed and all of that. But gym selfie are fine if they're done in the respect of the gym. Anyway, this was my 10 unpopular opinion about the gym. Again, this is my version of fitness. It may be not correct for everyone, but this is my vision of fitness. And I've been a personal trainer for 6, 7 years now, and always something that I enjoy doing. And I saw so many different things in the gym. And of course, my mentality changed in those years. For me, before, like, for example, it was like, you need to deadlift, you need to eat that way, you need to do that and that and that way. And now my vision of fitness changed, and I think I'm more mature on seeing how actually fitness should be, and that you need to fit fitness around you, or you are, and what your goals are, and all of that, because everyone, at the end of the day, is different. And at the end, everyone has different goals. For example, I like to use the gym for my mental health because I feel like I need it, and this is my choice. And some people just go there for the physique and not really for the mental health. Everyone is different, and everyone has different goals and strengths and weaknesses, and is something that we need to accept as well in the gym. Again, I know it was also a different video, a bit like more chill, but I really wanted to do that video because it's something that I really wanted to share. So it's a bit like more chill and laid back, even if I think they can agree that it's quite chill. Anyway, I really hope you enjoyed this video. If so, please give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.